What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be doing a quick review and demo of my Lowrance 4X HDI sonar. I bought this on Cabela's as kind of an ice fishing package here. Got tackle boxes down here below. Comes with a soft pack. And came with the ice fishing transducer. I'm going to turn this on real quick. And as that's booting up, I'm going to grab a quick cup of coffee. That's better. Okay. Well, it takes a little while to boot up. It ain't bad though. Before this, I actually had the Vlexar FL8 flasher, and flashers, there's a lot of people out there that swear by flashers and wouldn't get anything but a flasher, and I liked it, but I thought I'd sell that, and I tried this, and it's just something a little new. And I actually like this way more than I like the flasher. Okay, so when I first turn this on here, it gives me just an alarm saying don't use this as a GPS. Kind of redundant, since there's like no way to really use these as GPSs. Alright, so as you can see here, it's looking a little goofy because I have my transducer on my table, so it's not really registering anything. So first thing I'm going to do is push menu twice, take me into my settings, and I'm going to go down to simulator, and I'm going to push simulate. Now this is going to run a simulation. Just like if it was at Cabela's or something, it'd be kind of lagging a little bit. Hopefully it'll pick up here. Pretty much just going to run a simulation. It's going to pretty much turn off my transducer and the computer's just running kind of a quick simulation. So menu twice is going to get you to your settings. System. Under system you have languages. You have all sorts of languages in here. This makes this unit very versatile, and almost anybody around the world can use this unit. I'm going to select English US. There is an English UK. Audio, volume, up or down, pretty simple. Mute. Advanced mode, I'm not going to get into the advanced mode because, well, I'm not really advanced myself, so I don't want to confuse anybody. Restore defaults. I really like this feature. If I go to a lake anytime I go to a new lake, I'll always hit restore defaults. Seems like every time I go to a different lake, it's always just a little bit different. My settings will need to be tweaked just a little bit every time. So I always hit restore defaults, and restores it back to the factory settings, and it's kind of like a blank palette to work from. Under sonar, you have manual mode, which will turn your auto depth on or off. Downscan overlay is kind of goofy. It just pretty much puts kind of a downscan overlay over top of your sonar. I usually don't mess with any of these settings here. Fishing mode, there's general use, shallow water, freshwater, deep water, slow trolling, fast trolling, clear water, brackish water, and ice. These are kind of different pages, as you will, so you can go into freshwater and then play with settings just to use for just freshwater, and then deep water, change different settings, so then every time you go back to, it'll kind of save your settings for each one of these. I always just use general use. I haven't really messed around with that too much. Under alarms, you have a shallow alarm that you can enable, and then if you get below depths of 6 foot, it'll start beeping at you, so it'll let you know you're in the shallow water. Fish alarm, this will turn your alarm on every time a fish goes by. It's going to beep at you. Units, standard, US nautical, and metric. It's kind of, I always keep it on standard. And simulator, which I already showed you. Now under just pushing menu once, you got adjust the sensitivity. So I can go in here and, adjust my sensitivity how I see fit. And my color line, how I see fit. Auto sensitivity, this is going to kind of automatically calculate what you need kind of for sensitivity level. 98% of the time I usually leave this off, and then I just go in and adjust it how I see fit. Okay, there it kind of just took off. Now it's kind of running in normal simulation mode. I don't know, it's kind of running goofy there for a little bit. So I'll turn auto sensitivity back on, and see, auto sensitivity, I can still go in and bump it up 1% or 2, or go down 1% or 2, but it's just some different features. Range, auto, if I know I'm ice fishing in a certain depth of water, say I'm ice fishing at 15 foot, I'll set it to 20 foot, and it'll automatically lock in my bottom at 20 foot. For trolling, this isn't going to work very well because, well, you might go from 10 foot of water to 30 foot of water, so either you'll have a really short water column or not show a bottom whatsoever. So for trolling, probably just leave it on auto. But for ice fishing, it works better if you know how deep your water is to just set it, because you're going to be stationary anyway, so you're not really going to be moving. Frequency, 200 kilohertz, 83 kilohertz. I always leave this on 200 kilohertz. I don't really, 83 kilohertz to me is just way too clustered. That's probably a part where I'm going to adjust, and I can adjust the sensitivity too, but yeah, that's all kind of personal preference too, I guess. I'm still pretty new to sonars myself, so for me, I just leave it on 200 kilohertz. Seems a little bit simpler to read that way. Probably not getting as much detail as I should be, but oh well. 83 200. You got 83 kilohertz on this side and 200 kilohertz on this side. I don't know why it's not showing anything here. Like I said, I'm in simulation mode, and sometimes it doesn't operate like it doesn't show all the features. And this is just backwards. You got 200 here and you got 83 here. So I'll turn this back to 200 kilohertz. I'm thinking that's what that stands for, is kilohertz. Ping speed, fastest. I always leave this on kind of either fast or fastest. I guess ping speed is the rate at which your sonar is sending out data, how fast it's sending it out, and how fast it's receiving it. So if you have it to fastest, it's just click, 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 click all the time. Whereas, if you have it on slow or slowest, it's just click, 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 click. So for me, I like to know what's down there almost instantaneously. I probably don't get as much detail because it's sending out so quick and fast. Okay, so under sonar options, you got noise rejection, which is going to, if you're fishing near a lot of people and their sonars are kind of interfering with yours, you can turn this up or down to kind of clear it up. When you do turn it up, it kind of removes some of the detail, but it also clears up some of the interference too. So for me, I try to fish away from people, and I always keep this on low. Surface clarity, keep this on low too. It'll just kind of clean up your surface too up here if you're getting a bunch of interference. Split zoom. So this will do a split. I got my normal sonar here, and then I got a 2x here, and if I push my plus, I can go to 4x. So I'll use this for ice fishing a lot. It kind of gives me more detail to what's on the bottom, and I can kind of just see if something just barely moves down there, then I know it's probably a fish, or if it's just staying a solid line, then it's probably just the bottom. Turn that off. Okay, now in normal mode too, I can do zoom by just pushing plus 2. So just by staying on my normal screen there, I can zoom in or out. Split flasher. Like I said, I'm not a flasher kind of a person, but I can do a sonar and a flasher combo. The LCD kind of flashers, like right now, I wouldn't even know what I'm looking at. If I was just reading just a flasher, I would have no idea. I know that's my bottom right there, but what are all these lines here? And I could probably go into the color palette too and play with it, but I'm not going to today. Like I said, I'm not a flasher kind of a person. Turn that back to normal. sonar options. So it showed you that. Okay, color. This will change your color palette. This is kind of your just generic white background right here. You can do a night view. Turns everything kind of black and greenish, which is kind of cool. You have a ton of different backgrounds to choose from here. My favorite here probably is the blue with bottom track. And it kind of turns everything into kind of a infrared. Like if you're looking through some infrared binoculars or something. It's kind of a, I don't know. The color, it's just kind of your own choice on what you like the best. But there are a ton of different backgrounds you can go through. There's a grayscale too. I'm colorblind, so this is probably better for me. So I'll change it back to a white background here. Amplitude scope. This gives you kind of like a little vertical flasher. I do like this, however. This is kind of neat when ice fishing, because it kind of has like a lava lamp effect. If a fish is rising, it'll kind of, you'll see a little bubble pop off the bottom here and slowly kind of rise up to where your lure is at. You can do an amplitude scope and split zoom at the same time. Your scope is going to be over here, and then your zoom's over here, and your normal sonar's there. I don't think you can do split flasher. Oh, no, you can do amplitude scope, sonar, and split flasher too. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I never tried that. So I'll turn that off. Sonar options. Turn off my amplitude scope. Shoot. And then fish ID, I kind of already went over this. Like I said, it ain't doing it now. Sometimes it'll do it in simulation mode, but anytime the sonar registers what should be a fish, it'll just do a simple kind of a fish icon, and it'll actually have a number. Oh, right there, you can see one right there. Tiny little one right there. And it'll have a number right next to it on how deep that fish is. That one doesn't, but I'm also in simulation mode. Turn off fish ID again. Stop sonar, just kind of pauses your sonar if you want to look at something. Overlay data. This I'm not going to go into too much, but all it is you can, take your depth and move it down here, or make the numbers bigger or smaller, make your temperature, put it down here in this corner, or however you want to set it up. There's some other things you can add, like battery voltage and stuff like that. And then that's kind of everything there. Settings, it'll take you back to that screen there. Right here's your zoom. I didn't kind of go over that. Plus and minus zoom, arrows. Arrow keys are nice. You can kind of do a backlog of your history. So this is nice for me for ice fishing, because if I step out of my ice house or something to go check a tip up or something, I can kind of come back and I can hit this, and I can kind of go back and do kind of a history. You can see if maybe a fish while I was gone kind of swam up to my lure. Kind of gives me an indication that maybe, hey, a fish did come up and maybe I should check my bait. And then also with the arrows, you can go up or down. It'll tell you, okay, hey, there's a fish right here. How deep is it? And I can kind of see it's at 19.72 feet. So to get back to real time, just go all the way to the right. One of the big major things I didn't go over is this right here is your pages. You can push this button here, and this is down scan. So you got your down scan overlay right here. Push it again, regular sonar, and then you can also do split. So you got down scan and you got sonar, and there's also a horizontal. Now if I push the zoom button, I'm only zooming in on my sonar. Now this took me a while to figure out, because I would actually hit like menu. Well, these are all adjusting my sonar settings. I want to adjust my down scan settings. So it actually took me a little while to figure this out, but you push your pages button, and I guess I never read instructions. Tap pages again to operate down scan. So you push pages again, and now I can zoom in on my down scan, and when I push menu, these are all my down scan options. And I can do a split zoom. So I got normal down scan, split zoom, and my normal sonar. So control either or, you just push pages and then tap pages again to operate down scan, pages to operate sonar. There is a horizontal and there is vertical. So in the down scan mode alone, you have pretty much the same basic settings: auto contrast, range auto, frequency is just a little different, 800 kilohertz versus 455 or whatever. That's all personal preference. Ping speed, same thing. Down scan options, you got a split zoom you can do. This thing is pretty versatile, lets you kind of do almost anything. Color, purple, which to me I guess that's orange, but then again I am kind of colorblind, so sepia, white background. So it takes a while just to take it out of the box and just kind of play with everything for a while, but I'll rate this unit probably 10 out of 10. It's really, just taking it ice fishing the 2 or 3 times that I've had it out, it's really jumped my game. To give you an example, I took it to my local, I actually went to my local dam before I got this unit, and I spent the whole day, not a single bite. I actually thought the dam had no fish in it because the last stocking report showed about 3 years ago they stocked it last. So I was like, well, maybe everything got winter killed. And then I ended up buying this unit, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to go out just one more time. Now I got my sonar, and there are so many fish on my sonar coming up. I actually ended up catching about 3 or 4 bass that day, and I mean, just my sonar left and right, I could drill about anywhere, and there were fish following my lure up and down, and it's actually kind of neat to see, how the fish are reacting, and, do it, I was using a rip and wrap, and I was just dropping it down there and just jigging like crazy. I'd get fish to come out of the woodworks. I don't know if that vibration or whatever of the lure was just making them angry enough to come out of the woodworks or what, but it was amazing to actually see that there were fish in that little stock dam of mine just a couple miles from here. Well, that is my complete review of this unit here. Hopefully you liked it. And if not, I guess, let me know. This is my first video I've ever done, so that's why it's kind of bad quality, and my narration sucks because I'm not used to talking to a camera. So, well, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you have any questions about this unit, please let me know and I'll see if I can answer them. Thanks for watching.